on GG's, how are you doing today? Today I'm bringing you a little guide for the Shenlong Spirit Generator set. Yeah, or how to play it. What we first need. Well, we need our Shenlong's Relentless Assault, both weapons we need, and also the Shenlong's Fist of Legend. Let's come to the stats. So we need dexterity, we need percent damage, of course, would be great, but attack speed will probably a little bit higher, because what you need for this spec is just pure attack speed. So attack speed will also be as good as well. Yes. What you also need is on the weapon, at least on one weapon, life on hit. I had several tries where I had different problems with the toughness and the recovery. So at least one weapon should definitely be with life per hit, but life per hit on the second weapon would also be great too. Yeah, Cul de Sanc's Despair, of course, also very necessary, but later on. So, what else do we need? We need our inner set. We need 5 parts of it, and we need at least 2 parts, or we need 2 parts of the upside down Sinners set, of the Raiment of 1,000 Storm set. So, what you need on each place, you can choose on your own what you find better, but you need these 5 parts of the inner set and 2 parts of the other 1,000 Storms set. So, stats. What we want on our weapon. Perfect, or no, not on our weapon, on our gloves. We want dexterity, we want crit, and if you have the really good gloves too, like these ones, these were the perfect stats for it, like dexterity, crit, and area damage on hit. So what we want with this build is massive area damage. I'm only on 88, but if you have more than 100%, you deal way higher DPS than me. So these gloves were perfect by stats, but yeah. So on our shoulders, what do we have here? We want dexterity, we want vitality, we want resistance, and we want area damage, of course. Head nearly the same. We want dexterity, we want crit, and we want vitality, of course. Torso nearly the same. We want dexterity, vitality, and reduced damage from champion packs. Waist 2, dexterity, vitality, resistance. And now we want Way of the 100 Fists damage. 50% would be perfect, because it scales up with our primary DPS with the Way of the 100 Fists. And that's why we want Way of the 100 Fists on our waist. Also on our legs, we want these 2. So we want dexterity, vitality, and Way of the 100 Fists. And on our gloves and on our boots, we want dexterity, we want vitality, we want armor, and if you have already made it, we can also use all resistance on it. Would be great too. So these were the stats for the main equip. We go on. Traveler's Pledge. You have now 2 different choices to make. You can either go on Way of 100 Fists with Holy DPS, but you can also go on, well, I haven't really tested yet, but yeah, you could possibly switch, but Holy DPS would probably the best, because it all stacks up, just punch, and with the Fists of Fury, so that Holy would probably be the best for it. So we want Holy on our necklace, we want crit, on our wrists exactly the same, so we want the Traveler's Pledge with a Holy DPS, and the Spirit Guards, of course, also with Holy DPS. So dexterity, vitality, crit, and Holy. Comparison rows, crit, dexterity, and area damage would probably the best for it here. So Unity, yeah, a little bit different. We want Unity here. We want no convention of elements, because we need the other part we've cubed here with a Ring of the Royal Grandeur. So we want Unity here, And well, you can also have a perfect ring of royal grandeur here in your finger, but yeah, unity is mostly better to roll. So we have here crit would be the best. Crit socket, of course. And if you have only one like this here with dexterity, crit, and damage against champions, it will also be fine, but crit and champion damage would be the best here. And don't forget the socket, of course. So, also for our sockets, we want, well, if you have the DPS, you could go on full all resistance. But if you want to push your DPS a little, and you don't need that much toughness, you could also swap it like I did. So I mostly play with 3 sockets in green and 2 sockets in all resistance. Also very great because you need a little bit more all resistance, and you could easily fix it with at least 2 games. So the rest, 3 games, 3 green games would be also very great. And they had, of course, CDR. Also great for our Desert Shroud and an Epiphany. Don't forget it. So, what we want? We want for our skills Way of the 100 Fists. All you do with this build is you're just pushing like this, like pushing on the same place, like push, and punch. That's all you do with this build. So very easy to play. We want Breath of Heaven infused with light, because every time, like it stands here, gain 40 additional spirit from spirit generating attacks for 5 seconds after using Breath of Heaven. So that means if you cast your Breath of Heaven, just go fist, and you generate spirit like, yeah, immense. So, next one. We want a Cyclone Strike. We want Implosion. The Cold Rune would also be great, I think, because enemies are frozen. That's very great, of course. If you have immense toughness problems, this would probably be a little bit better. But Implosion just pulls all enemies from far away, and this might be better. I also tested it with this cold, but Implosion, well, it has a better effect on it, on a whole play. So, Dashing Strike, Radiance. We want no blinding speed here, because, as I said, the build is just full attack speed. That's why attack speed would also be better on our weapons. So, gain 15% increased attack speed, and if you can, try to just hold it up for the full duration. There are situations you can't hold it in some situations, but try. This would be perfect. So you can dash and go very fast, and that's all that's all how you deal with your DPS. Next one, Mantra of Salvation. We want agility here. I haven't yet tried something else like Mantra of Retribution. Transgression could also be some great way to push your DPS way higher, but currently on the PTR, Mantra of Salvation with agility is a very, very strong toughness spell that just gives you a huge toughness bonus. And last but not least, Epiphany, Desert Shroud, like on nearly each other build here. We want also as passive skills Alacrity, increased attack speed from spirit generators. That's what we want. More attack speed and Seize of the Initiative. So, dealing to enemies above 75% life, increase your attack speed by 30%. So, more attack speed. Beacon of Jitar, because of the Desert Shroud, the Epiphany, for a faster CD. And at last but not least, for the Harmony as toughness. So, what do we else want? Sockets. Bane of the Trapped for just higher DPS. We want Bane of the Stricken for our bosses. and we want a simplicity strength for your primary skills. That means for your way of the 100 fist, just pushing, 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 and gives you more DPS. On rank 100 plus, you get about 80%, I guess it was, and it just pushes your DPS to hell. Yes, what do we else want? We want in our cube the Flying Dragon. Also for more attack speed, we want the Crudest Boots. Don't forget the Crudest Boots because of the inner set. Because as you remember, on the inner set you gain 50% increased damage for each Mystic Ally you have. So that means you have a way higher DPS with your allies, of course. And the Ring of the Royal Grandeur. If you have Unity, or you can switch it. Yeah, if you have a perfect Ring of Royal Grandeur, you can go on crit and rare damage and socket if you have this in a good ancient version. But Unity would also be very, very great. So, I hope I said everything. If you have any questions, down below. And yeah, I guess that's it for the moment. I hope you had some fun and see you next time. Bye guys.